Just a quick moment.
Technical difficulties. Morning. Not really much on the log. Probably the only one thing we'd have was the robbery that happened. It was last night about 11 o'clock. That was in the area of 11th Street and Sneeve Avenue. Still trying to sort everything out, but we had 3 guys that went into one of the apartment buildings and were kicking an apartment door. There's some connection between these guys and the people that were in the apartment. We had another guy that came up. There may have been some connection between him and those 3 people ended up being our suspects. They ended up punching and kicking the victim who was in the apartment hallway. The victim had a BB gun with him. They ended up taking that BB gun and ended up shooting him with that BB gun, and then also took his cell phone, and then they left. So they never did get into the apartment. We're not sure at this point why they were trying to get in. Still trying to sort that part out. No serious injuries from the victim at all. We've got some information to.
So essentially there's 3 suspects and 1 victim, or did you see there was another person involved?
Well, we had people that were inside the apartment as well. They could be considered victims as well, but for sure there were 3 suspects. Aggravated assaults or domestics. Those are reports. The weapons violation, that was actually the robbery, so that was a report that was created in error, but nothing big with the vandalism, so. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Sam, the alleged kidnapping of 7-month-old Chosen Butler, Betty Cross, is accused. How did law enforcement come across Cross and Butler in Michigan?
So, yeah, just to kind of recap a little bit of that, there was a warrant that was issued on March 4th for kidnapping. And the sheriff's office, the warrant task force, a fugitive task force. I always get their name mixed up. But anyway, so the fugitive task force was looking for her. They came across some information that led them to believe that she may have been in Detroit. They kind of followed up on that, and then we sent that information to the Detroit Police Department. They ended up finding her, and she was arrested on that warrant. Excuse me. There was also another woman that was there that is from Sioux Falls, and there was a warrant that was issued yesterday for her for the same charge for kidnapping. That one carried a $100,000 cash bond, the same as the one for Ms. Cross. Basically, it was, they believe that the second person helped Betty take the child out of state, and so that's why that warrant was issued. Her name is Taylor Marie Edwards, TaylorMarieEdwards, and she's 20 from Sioux Falls. But sorry, really what this was is just good police work. So the fugitive task force, they knew that this was a serious charge, and they were looking for her, and they've got a lot of different methods, a lot of different things that they do to track people down, and they're very good at what they do. In this case, they learned that she had left the state. They passed that information on to the detective, and then he was the one that got in touch with the Detroit Police Department.
Sioux Falls Police Department detective.
Yeah, we've got, so the fugitive task force, the fugitive task force, we have 1 person from the police department, and then it's deputies from the sheriff's office. They also work closely with the marshals, so it's I would say similar to our drug task force. It's made up of local, state, federal agencies. So the fugitive task force is the same thing. When they learned that information, they passed it on to the police detective who was investigating this case.
And that police detective is with which agency?
Sioux Falls Police.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So 2 Sioux Falls women, both charged with kidnapping Chosen Butler.
Correct. Yep. Warrants were issued for both of them.
And where are Edwards and Cross right now?
In Detroit. I don't know what facility they're at, but wherever they're at in jail over there. So there'll be an extradition hearing since they're out of state to find if there's probable cause to have them brought back to South Dakota.
And Chosen Butler's unharmed?
Correct.
Okay. Butler remains in Michigan at the moment?
I don't know where he's at. I mean, he was fine. He was turned over, I believe, to Child Protection Services in Michigan, and then they're going to work to get him back to South Dakota. I'm not sure what the steps in that involve.
So do you know then, since Fugitive Task Force was involved, did they actively go looking for the baby and the?
They're looking for people with warrants. So,
I was just wondering, did they get like pulled over on the side of the road somewhere and
No.
then they stumbled
oh,
upon them?
in
or-
Detroit?
Yeah, in Detroit.
No, there was a specific address that they checked.
That the Detroit Police Department.
Detroit Police Department, yeah.
Just how rare or common are kidnapping investigations in Sioux Falls, South Dakota?
Situations like this are pretty rare. This one was a little bit different, had some different nuances that I hadn't seen before, but we do have kidnapping that comes up. I'd say most of the time there's some type of domestic relation. In cases, I guess everybody thinks of kidnapping and they think of strangers, and that's kind of what gets portrayed in TV and the movies and stuff like that. Those types of kidnappings are extremely rare. So there's almost always a connection between the victim and the suspect. This one involving a child, we see that time to time. Usually it starts off under the guise of some type of child custody dispute. Could be an ex, spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, different situations. So this one had a little different nuance to it, but just overall, I'd say the kidnappings are still fairly rare in Sioux Falls. Anything else? Okay, thanks.